Hello friends, this is my YouTube channel IT Pro. You can watch it for a strongly foundation of information technology and promises you to give you conceptual knowledge in computer. Keep watching for latest videos. Time to time I will come with the latest video in computer. Thank you.
To look at creating pie charts, column charts, and we'll also look at a basic introduction to pivot table. So in this example, I'll talk about the first one is the pie chart, and I'll leave a link to a sample to this file so you can download it if you did not want to type it, or you can make up your own examples as you feel like it. So usually in a chart you want to have like one column and the one row with some kind of labels, and then the numbers appear so that you can make some sense out of your chart. Now whenever you have like two columns, you can make a pie chart, or if you had only two rows, then you could make a pie chart, like if you had like two rows of information. So that will work. So in this case I only have two columns worth of information, so I can make a pie chart out of it. Now all you need to do is highlight just the information, don't highlight any empty cells, and now I go to the insert tab on the top and I'm looking for pie chart. Now there's my pie chart symbol. In your case, because my screen is not big enough, it's showing it to me like that. It might be a bigger button in your case, so I can click it, and now I can click one of these pie charts and I choose it. Now my pie chart is ready. Now whenever you add an element in Excel or anything in Microsoft Office, any products, you'll start to get tools for it. And this is where you can start making changes to it. So you see there are different options that they've created in the chart styles, and this is new because in the previous versions the percentage were not added to the chart styles. You had to add it to the quick layout option. So even from the quick layout I can choose to add the percentage like this, and so you see it puts the labels and then the percentages. I can even choose a different type of a layout like this so that the words are also in it. I can also choose a layout like this so I can have it on the side. Or I can go through the chart styles and I can choose any one of these styles. And the good thing is, as you point to it, it starts to change. So even before you click, you can decide whether you want to keep this style or not. So that once you are happy, you can click on it. And when you click on the chart, you also get these symbols here on the side. So they've added some shortcuts to add some elements. So if I click on the plus sign, I can choose whether I want any of these elements. So I can remove the chart title by clicking it. So the title is gone. I can bring it back. And not just that, when I point to the arrow and I click it, I get some option whether I want it like this, where it's close to the chart. And there are some more options that you can look at as to how do you want your chart titles to be showing up with borders and fill colors. So you can choose that. And when I go back here, the data labels, I'll click on the arrow. The labels are the percentage symbols in the chart. So I can choose to have it outside. So you see now it's on the outside. Or I can choose to have it on the center, in the center. So I can choose that. And then the third one is the legend. This guy on the bottom is called the legend, which tells me which color is which person. So I point to the arrow, and now I can choose to have the arrow legend on the top, to the left, to the right. Now I can have it anywhere I want. So a lot of these options, they used to be in the previous version under this chart tools called layout, and they've kind of just moved it up here, but you can also go through these options here, add chart elements, and you see the same options are coming up here. You can also go to this symbol here where the filter options, and I can remove certain check marks if I don't want to have them on my chart. And this button in the middle, this is where some of the chart style is, which is up here, so I can click here also, and now I can choose styles from here. They also have some color options that you can choose to change the color combinations. And then there is a style option, which is listing all the styles that we have. Now if you wanted to put colors in the background or anywhere, then I can just click here. I'm going to click this, so close that window. I'll click here in the background. I'll go to Format, and I'll look for the Shape Fill button, and now I can choose any of these colors that I want. Click it, it's added. And from the Shape Fill, I can also go to Gradients. So it's like a mixture. Gradient styles are where you can mix things up. And you can also choose different gradient by going to More Gradients, and then you can mix colors up. So if you look on the right hand side, there's a whole bunch of options that you can choose from. So you can change things as you like it, and you can mix things up. Now in the Format, in the Shape Fill, you can also choose to add a picture. So if you wanted to add a picture that you have in your computer, you can just click it and browse to it, and that can be added as a background. And there's also called Texture option, where I can choose to have it like this. Now you can always, if you don't remember a lot of these options, you can always just right click and you get the options to go through it. I can click on the title, and I can choose to add these word art styles, whatever kind you like it. And if I wanted to put the color on John, I click on the chart once. Then you have to click on this John side one more time, because you only want the circles. You see that dot circle there, here and here, so that means only John is selected. Now I can add a shape fill color to whatever I want it to be. So I click on Dave now, and so I need to say click on just this, and you can see that right now all the circles are there. That means this whole pie chart is selected. Click one more time. Now if I go to shape fill, it will only add the color to that one. So you can control that anytime you want. Now if you change any of these values in the chart will start to change. So if I change Mary from 2800 to 5800, she should have the bigger pie chart. I hit enter. Now you see automatically the chart adapted, because this chart is looking at this information. So if you change the name will also change. So if I change Dave to David, now it changes on the chart. Now I'm going to add a new name here, and I'll make up a number for this person. Now when I hit enter, that name didn't get added to the chart, and the reason is because this chart only knows about these lines. So I need to somehow tell this pie chart that go grab this line. So you need to first of all click on the chart, and now you look in the corner, there is that square, you point to it, look for the arrow, left click and hold it, and you drag it, and it is added. So Lisa is added in the chart. I'll hit undo, and I'll show you another way. You could go from the design, and you can use the select data option, and then from here, I'm just going to move this right up here. This pie data range is already highlighted, so just start highlighting everything all over again. Or you can use the add option, but I just prefer just highlight it like this if it's not a very big one, and I click OK, and it will add the Lisa again. So you can choose either way. You could also right click, and you'll see the option called select data. Now you can also change the chart type. In the previous version, a lot of these things were on the left hand side, so that's what they were if you're used to the previous version of it in 2010 and 2007. So I can use the change chart type, and I can change the chart type to say this kind, or this kind, or this kind. So I've just changed it. So I can change it to any of these styles I like, or I can even change it to a different column chart. So I can change it even completely, even more so if I wanted to. Change chart type, pie, I can choose the second one, click OK, and there it is. Now if you wanted, you could actually move your pie chart to a separate sheet on the bottom. Rather than it being part of this sheet called pie chart, I can put it on a separate sheet. So I use the move chart button, and I'll say move it to a new sheet, and I'll just call it chart 1 for now, and chart 1 maybe pie chart. So I've given it that name and I click OK. Now you see the chart is on its own sheet. If you look on the bottom, there is the pie chart, and here is my chart 1 pie chart, and all the other features are exactly the same. And I can go back to move chart. I can say move chart back as an object in, and I can choose the pie chart so that it will move back to that same chart in the same sheet. They've also given a quick way of changing colors from here if you wanted to try it. And if you would then not want this pie chart, you can hit the delete button on the keyboard and the chart will be deleted, and you can go ahead and recreate it. So that's pie chart. We'll look at column chart, which is almost the same, just a few variations. So I'll come to this and I'm going to highlight my information. So here I have some region, north, south, east, west, and I have January, February, March sales for those region. And I can go to insert. Now in this case I've got more than 2 columns, so I'll need to make some kind of a column chart or a bar chart. So I'll just go with the column chart right now. And they also give you the recommended chart options. If you wanted, you could just click on it and you see it is recommending a column chart. And there are some more designs that they are showing it to you. So you see there's the bar chart. So this will be the most common ones in this case. So I can just go to this and I can choose the first one. And right away the chart is added. I can change the styles to whatever kind I want. So you see there are different styles, different layouts that you can pick from. And you can change the colors, so you can choose whatever coloring system you like. And you can go through the quick layout and you can choose different layout. One of the very interesting one is the second row second, because when I choose that in the layout, it actually puts the data and attaches it to the chart. And you can also go through the add chart elements here, or you can go through the plus signs up here and then you can choose whether you want the axis, the X and Y axis, and whether you want the titles for it, and where would you want the titles. Do you want data labels? So if I put it, I can remove the data labels, which is the things on the top. Do you want the legend, which is the January, February, March? So I can have the legend. I can go through the second, which is the styles again. If I wanted, I could just change it like that. And if I go to the filter, I can say, you know what, let's not show me, don't show me February. So it's kind of filtering it. And you can do the same thing from here. Legend, data labels, data table, which is this is called the data table. So I can choose the data table to be none. So it's removed, and I can go back and add the data table and say show it with legend keys. Just want to go back to this filtering option, because I think once you remove February you have to hit the apply button on the bottom, and now you see it's removed, and I can click here again and I can hit apply. So this will be an easier way to bring your data back, because I can even click on the middle one, which is February. So you see all of them are highlighted, and I can hit the delete button on keyboard and it will remove it. Now I can click here again and it's not listed because it's not part of the data. So now what I'll have to do is I'll have to go back to select data and then go ahead and highlight everything all over again. I'm just going to move this to the bottom. So you see how February is not highlighted. So now I can highlight everything all over again, and there it is. And if you want to change any color, I can click on the yellow. So you see all the yellows are highlighted. I can go to format and I can use the shape fill to add a color of my liking. Whatever you feel like, you can add it. I can double click on the chart title, highlight it, and then I can give it any name. In the design, there is also one more button which is very useful for column charts. It's the switch row column button, because what it does is, if right now the bars are north, south, east, west, if I switch it, the bars become January, February, March. So it's now showing me by month rather than by region. So I can switch it again. So now it's showing me by the region options, that what happened in January in each region. So you can switch it to see which way works best. And all the other thing we looked at in earlier, like change chart type and move chart, they still apply here. I can hit the change chart, go to the bar, and I can change it to the bar. So it becomes the bar type. And if you don't want it again, you can just hit the delete button on the keyboard. And there it is. So this is column chart and the pie chart. Now we'll look at how to create a pivot table, and also there's an option what's called pivot chart. So for that, I've got two different examples here. One is with like employee sales, and this one is like I was just trying to test with a sample where I'm trying to track my job search. So say I'm trying to apply for certain positions with different companies, and I'm using 3 different types of resume. And what I'm trying to track is which resume is giving me an interview, so that I can start using that resume for that particular type of jobs or just overall. So to make a pivot table, you go to the insert button and there is a pivot table option. And in the pivot table too, they've added this recommended pivot table option, which is very interesting because you might already see something that you want to gather out of your pivot table in there. So the idea of pivot table is like it takes your data, a whole bunch of data, and it makes sense out of it very fast. So I can go to recommended pivot tables, and then it highlights it and it shows me certain types that you might be interested in. So as you click on it, you can start seeing, and you go, you know what, I don't care about this. What I want is my yes and no for the interview. So I'm scrolling down and I click here and it says, yeah, it's giving me yes and no, but by positions. I want by resume. So then I click here and I can see here that you see it's giving me resume 1, 8 no, 8 yes, resume 2, 20 no's, and 2 yeses, and I'm pretty sure there is resume 3 on the side. So this will be a pretty good one to take, and you can also go through some other options. But we'll look at the manual way. So I'll go to pivot table. It highlights it for me, so you don't have to highlight it, and it's going to add a new worksheet. You don't want to put it in the existing worksheet or in this worksheet, but you just want to put a new one, which is much better. And I can click OK. Now it opens a new sheet. And look on the right hand side, this is what I have to now add to my rows and columns. So say I'll take my resume and I'll drop it in the row. So now resume 1, 2, 3 are listed here. So I'm just dragging and dropping it, and I can take my interview and I am going to drop it in the columns. So the yes and no is added, but now I need to count the yes and the no. So I'm going to take the interview and I'm going to count it, so by dropping it in the values, and you see next to the values you see the summation symbol. So I drop it and now it counts it. So it shows that resume 2 I had 20 no, so that means I had no interviews, 20 of them, and only 2 yeses. And resume 3 had given me 19 interviews, so that means resume 3 will be a good interview, good resume to apply for jobs. Now if I want, I can split it even further by taking position, and I can drop it in the rows, and it shows me like this. And then I can say, you know what, let me just put it in the columns, let's see how it looks. And it looks like that. I'm not sure. I can even take the interview and drop it in the resume, and now here I can look at it like this. So I see resume 1, yes and no, and I can see 8 yeses, but 7 of them out of that were for CSR jobs. And then I can see resume 2, I can see that out of many of these I got 16 no's. And then I can look here and I can see that I had 17 yeses for CSR for resume 3. So I can know that this is a good resume for CSR type jobs. So this is the way you can then rearrange the information to get your information to wherever you want it to be and find the right combination that you would like. Now while you are at it, you can use this pivot chart option. You just click it and it will try to show you some information in this way. Sometimes it will make sense, sometimes not, so you can find the right combination if it's needed. And you can always drag and arrange information as you want it. Now if I wanted, I could take the company and I can drop it in the filter. So now from this company I can just choose and I can say show me only, say, Rogers. So now I only see the jobs I've applied to Rogers with yes and no's split up by positions. I can go back and I can choose all to come back. So filtering is really good if you wanted to filter it by certain criterias. I'm going to do one more really quickly with this employee sales. So I've got these one where I have some salespeople from UK and USA and they are doing some sales. So if I want, I can go to Insert, Pivot Table, New Worksheet, and here I'll take the country, I'll drop it in row, and I'll take the salesperson, drop it in column, and then I'll take the order amount and I'll drop it in the values because I want it to be counted. And this is alright. I'm like, this is not bad. I'll just take the salesperson, drop it in row, and I'm like, hey, this is much better. I can take the country, drag it below salesperson. Come on. For some reason I can't move it. Oh, there it is. But I'm like, this doesn't look that good, so I'm going to move the country back up. Oh, this is much better because I can see UK salespeople and their sales amount, US salespeople and their sales amount. So that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. And if you will like this video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon.